Hey guys, Dr. Anthony Pellegrino from Absolute Chiropractic. I'm going to talk to you guys about this thing today. It's an article about some research we're going over in the office this week. And just a little background, a lot of times we'll have people come to our practice, come to our office, who have felt as though whatever they're experiencing in their life, so many people have told them that it's all in their head. It's all in their head. Whether or not whatever they've been experiencing, anxiety, fatigue, whatever it is, it's not real, it's all in their head. And my answer to that is, it probably is. But I mean that in a little bit of a different way. Because what I know, and what research and science tells us, is the brain controls and coordinates the function of everything in your entire body. And that you are designed perfectly, and that when that brain is not properly communicating with the body, you are not going to function properly. The brain sends messages down the spinal cord, out the nerves, going to every organ, cell, every tissue. And when that communication isn't happening properly, then you're not going to function as well as you can. So maybe it is in your head. Maybe your head, your brain, isn't properly communicating with your body. So take the case in this research study that we're looking at here, that we wrote up a nice article about. Something called psychogenic non-epileptic seizures. What that literally meant is that the woman in this article, the woman in this study, was experiencing seizures, and she was told that the reason she was experiencing seizures was because of what was going on in here, in her mind, psychogenic. Okay? What, after suffering and suffering and suffering and suffering for years, having seizures multiple times a week, tremors, migraines, all of these health issues, she went and went and went and went and kept looking for answers, and all she kept getting was drugs and drugs and drugs, and nobody actually looked at, well, what's actually causing this? She went to neurologically based chiropractors who did an evaluation of her nervous system and saw that something there is not functioning properly. Something is not communicating. At the top of the neck, where the brainstem comes through out the brain, misalignment to the very top bone here in the neck was actually cutting off and choking off the communication between her and her brain and her body. What they decided to do was, instead of just saying it's all in your head, what they decided to do was correct it. Okay? Delivering specific adjustments. And after 7 months of chiropractic care, 30-year-old woman in this study saw significant improvements in her non-epileptic seizures, including tremors, motor control, vertigo, and complete body convulsions. This 30-year-old woman, who had been suffering for years and years and years and years, who felt as though she didn't have her health, she had no control over her own body, was able to get answers. Now, issues like this, oftentimes what we look at is, yes, we've probably been told that our issues are caused because of stress. They're caused because of stress. But I'm here to tell you guys that while that might be the case, there is no way to put us in a bubble and stop us from experiencing stress. However, our nervous system, our brain, our spinal cord, our nerves are what allows our body to adapt to and handle stress. Adapt to and handle stress. If there is tension in those nerves, if that is not functioning properly, it's going to limit our body's ability, our brain's ability, our nervous system's ability to adapt to and handle stress. And therefore, things will begin to show up physically. They can show up as neck pain, back pain, inability to handle physical stress. They can show up as anxiety, inability to handle emotional stress. It could show up as allergies, asthma, which is chemical stress. It can show up in a variety of different ways. If you think about all the stresses that we have in our lives, it's March right now, April 15th is coming up, that's tax season. That's a big stressor. Stuff at home, stuff with our kids. We could sit at a desk for 50 hours a week. We can work construction, physical stresses. We can ride a bike. We can get into car accidents. Those are big traumas. All of the different factors, the air that we breathe, driving on the turnpike, they all lead up and fill up our bucket with the stress that our body has to adapt to. And there will come a day, like in the case of this woman, that that bucket begins to overflow. And that's when issues begin to show up. The entirety of our goal with neurologically based chiropractic is to make that bucket larger. Let us able to adapt to and handle more and more and more and more of the stresses. Because if our body can adapt to and handle stress better, our life, our quality of life will go up. So is it all in your head? Maybe. Doesn't mean it has to be. Let's see if we can get some answers.